Well, tickets are on sale now for an incredibly unique night of entertainment at the Niswonger Performing Arts Center. It's called Hyprov, a combination of improv and hypnosis. Here with more now, two masters of their crafts. Colin Mochrie, of course, a familiar face from Whose Line Is It Anyway? And Asad Mecci, a hypnotist. And guys, it is great to have you on the show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Well, first of all, I got to see some of the clips, of course, of the night that you guys have in store for us. How did you two get together? Sort of tell me the story.
So I'm the master hypnotist on the show. I sent an email through Colin's website. His longtime manager, Jeff Andrews, picked up the email. In it, I outlined the show. Hypnosis and improv married together on stage. Colin was gracious enough to join me on stage. We put up the show at the Second City. From there, we've been touring the show nonstop. We are on a 50-city plus city tour across North America.
And it really does, seeing you two together, I mean, it's like you guys complement each other perfectly. It's hilarious. Colin, what's it like for you kind of putting the two together?
It's nice to finally work with great improvisers. You know, the Whose Line guys, hacks, all of them. I've had to carry them for years. What's great with our hypnotized subjects is when Asad hypnotizes them, he gets rid of the part of the brain that deals with self-reflection. So that part of the brain that stops you from going, I may look silly here, or I'm not funny. They just react like actual improvisers. They respond immediately to anything Asad and I say, and it ends up usually being hilarious.
Oh my goodness, it is hilarious. I was laughing out loud at my desk this morning watching some of it, and Asad, I mean, they are really, the audience participation here is top notch. I mean, so you actually pull people out of the crowd, right?
So I asked for volunteers. I don't pick on anybody. 20 volunteers come up on stage. I hypnotize them and then whittle it down to the best 5 or 6 hypnotic subjects. And then Colin comes in and improvises with them, and it is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, Colin, tell me about some of the things that you do. Is it different every time? Are you just kind of pulling together some of these great experiences?
Yeah, we've come up with a bunch of games that we're trying out. We're still sort of in the early stages of figuring out exactly what we can do with them. We've been incredibly happy and surprised with what we can do. There's one where I sing a duet with them, and Asad gives them the suggestion that they are the greatest singer in the world, and we end up doing an improvised song to something that the audience has suggested. And every night, it's just been a winner. It's just amazing how we find a improv superstar every night.
And Asad, I was watching some of it, and just the idea of, like, of course, you know, I would be so worried about what I did and making a fool of myself, but the idea of just being able to let it go. I mean, these people have no control, so they're just letting it all go right there on stage.
So you won't do anything against your morals, ethics, or cultural values when you're hypnotized. Another way of saying it is you won't do anything that you don't want to do, but I can give you suggestions to make you do things that you normally wouldn't do on stage. That being said, we don't embarrass anybody. We're unlocking their inner genius. They turn into really good improvisers. As Colin mentioned before, the part of the mind that deals with self-reflection becomes disconnected when somebody's hypnotized. They don't think about you know, if their hair is misplaced or if they're sweating too much on stage. They just carry out the suggestion that I give them, and they don't hesitate. They make every single one of the scenes count because they're so fully committed to the scene. It makes for great improv.
Yeah, it sounds like a wonderful experience, just very freeing. And of course, for the audience that's just watching this, I mean, Colin, I mean, they are in stitches like the whole time. Just so many funny moments that just happen.
Yeah, and lately there's been so many different levels as to the audience's enjoyment. I mean, there's the show, there's the fact that people are going back to theater and being together and watching something. And then there's that added thing of seeing your family member or your friend up there improvising with us and doing really well. So there's so many levels of enjoyment to the show. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, and I think after the last couple of years that we've had, we just all need those moments where we can just laugh together and be part of an event that's actually happening. Of course, we're grateful to be able to talk with you guys through Zoom, but we can't wait to have you here live on the stage for people to really get excited about some of the things you do. Is it fun for you guys still? I mean, I know that's a lot of cities, a lot of tours, a lot of performances, but it just looks like y'all are having a ball too.
Oh, it's a blast. I get a front row seat to the best comedy in the world. I get to see an improv legend, Mr. Colin Mochrie from Who's Line, improvising with people who are hypnotized on stage. It's a wild night out.
And I get to be an improv legend. So it works for all of us.
I love it. Well, I can tell it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, if you would like to get your tickets, it is coming up May the 7th at 7:30 at Niswonger Performing Arts Center. Of course, that's right there in Greenville. npacgreenville.com for more information.